Welcome back to the Gone for 10 show. The NRL season is over. We're here to talk Rugby League World Cup. Guys, we are 11 subscribers away from our first milestone of 100 subscribers. So please hit like, please hit subscribe, but most importantly, share this with your friends or family. We're trying to hit the market, so please share it around. Obviously, I'm your host, Tony. I'm joined by Baxter. Baxter, World Cup's here. We've got another couple of weeks of rugby league for the season. How are you feeling, mate?
Mate, feeling great. Don't worry about my eye, but let's kick off with this World Cup.
Well, obviously, like he said, we'll forget his eye. He is going through a few things, but you know what? You're an absolute trooper. You are here. You are ready to talk all things Rugby League World Cup. Obviously, guys, there's 4 groups, A, B, C, D. We'll go through each. The top 2 from each group will go through to the knockout stages, and then eventually we will have a winner crowned at the end of that. But jumping into Group A, we obviously have the teams England, France, Greece, and Samoa. Now, for me, Baxter, this is arguably the toughest group not to get out of, because I think obviously England and Samoa will get out of this group. But I think it's arguably the toughest group to pick a winner out of. And I think this first game between England and Samoa could decide who wins this group. So what are your thoughts, obviously, on these sides? Any noticeable players that you do see in either of these 4 sides? And then obviously, who you think is going to win the group? Who you think is going to come second? And do you think there's a dark horse in this group that could go the whole way?
Yeah, look, we like to use the term group of death when it comes to the true football world. This is the group of death. You got 3 absolute cracking squads with one to make the numbers up there, who isn't as bad as as I make him out to be. But if I have to pick my dark horse, I'm going to go dark horse. I'm going to go Samoa. My top of the group should be England. Greece obviously misses out, and France to make second spot. That's how I'm seeing Group A. What about you, Tony?
I think, you know what, I'm going to throw a bit of a smoky up there now. They are my dark horse of the tournament, or one of my dark horses. I do have 2 that I think could shock the favourites, obviously in Australia, New Zealand, and potentially England. But I'm going to go Samoa to top this group. I just think they've got enough players there that can really shine. They can definitely, I guess, shake up the competition a bit. We've seen when players come from the Super League in England, they come across and they play in the NRL. Most of them struggle. So I think the speed of these players, I know they're not all NRL players, but the likes of Stephen Crichton and the likes of Harris Tavita, Brendan Hamlin at Ueli, Kafusi, like Jerome Luai, Tyler May, Tyrone May. Like, there's just a bunch of NRL experience. So I do expect Samoa to get the result in game 1. I expect Samoa to top the group. I expect England to come second. No disrespect to Greece and France. I just don't think they're going to have strong enough players to get out of that group. But obviously, we'll move into Group B. It's the one that most of us do have our eyes on. It is our boys, Australia, that will be playing in that group. Right there on the screen, you've got Australia, Fiji, Italy, and Scotland. I guess same questions. I think we're both going to have Australia getting out of that group, topping the group. But do you see a shake-up for second, or is it straightforward as saying Fiji should get through the groups?
I'm actually going to give a bit of a little dark horse. Who I think should come second is Scotland. I'm backing them to get second. Fiji obviously come third and miss out, unfortunately. But look, if Fiji are their second, it wouldn't surprise me. So that's where I'm going with. And Italy, just another team to make up the numbers.
Well, I mean, it's a bit of a tough one. It feels like the 2006 World Cup. I've got Australia and Italy in the same game. They're going to play each other. I don't think Italy is going to give too much struggle. I think Australia, besides that Fiji game, could put a lot of points, I think, in this group. Obviously, for me, Australia's winning this group quite comfortably. They'll win every game. However, they have made a few changes, obviously, for the starting lineup. Obviously, the boys from the grand final will be rested. The numbers are all over the place. Let's just hope their playing style isn't all over the place like those numbers in that lineup. But I look at the Fiji squad, Kikau, Coruscant. They both know how they're playing. They both know the connection. Ravalawa, he's huge on the line. I just think they can have enough depth to get out of this squad. But dark horse, you've said Scotland to get out of the group. Can Scotland go the whole way, or is it more get out of the group? Unfortunately, you're done after that.
Nah, Depends who they come up against Group B. So if Scotland comes second, they play. I think if England top that group, in my prediction, they'll play England. And as you say, if Samoa win your group with your prediction, Scotland will play Samoa. So hopefully they can do a dent into whoever they face after the group stages. But yeah, it'll be a cracking show nonetheless.
Obviously, talking about that Australian squad, let me get your thoughts. I know we've spoken off the air. Let me get your thoughts on this new number situation. Do you like it? Do you rate it? Do you think it's the absolute stupidest thing ever? What are your thoughts on that?
I like how I like how we have squad numbers. I just don't like the numbers they've given to certain players. Like they're given, for my ruling, it should be the incumbent player gets the starting position number. So, for instance, I'll just use him. Daly Evans, he's the incumbent 7, so he gets number 7, and Cleary, he gets whatever numbers after the 1 to 13 or 1 to 17 gets sorted out, and then when Daly moves on, it's Cleary's to take 7. I think it's a bit stupid having there's like Ben Hunt at 3, Josh Adokar at hooker, Jake Dvojevic on the wing. It's going to be a very, very weird one. But we know the players, so it shouldn't be too hard to follow along for us. But a new person watching the game, I think you might lose them.
Well, I can tell you what, I don't know if you ever bought them growing up as a kid, going to games with those double try multis that you used to peel off at the game, and you'd get number 14 and you'd be throwing your hands up. This is a whole game changer. Because if I get number 14, if it's Nathan Cleary, I think I'm in with a chance. If I get number 9, I think I'm in with a chance. So it's obviously made a spin on that. But I have just done a bit of research while you were talking then. The runner-up of this group will obviously play the winner of actually the next group that we're about to talk about. It is Group C. So obviously Group C, New Zealand, Ireland, Jamaica, and Lebanon. Again, this is a one-way competition. I think New Zealand absolutely run through here, but there is that surprise packet of obviously Mitchell Moses leading Lebanon. You've got Kiri leading Ireland. Jamaica, I'm sorry, I think they're just making up the numbers, but what are your thoughts? And obviously the winner of this will face the runner-up of Group B. So what are your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, this is, excuse me, this is a very interesting one. I have New Zealand topping the group with Lebanon to come second. So obviously New Zealand will face Scotland in my prediction, and Lebanon to play Australia after the group stages. In my opinion, I don't see Jamaica or Ireland. No disrespect to any of the players there, but I just don't think they have the leadership or any the experience to go toe to toe with some of these squads. So early flights back for them.
Now, again, I know your answer because obviously we spoke off air, but I know it does come from one of these teams. So I'm going to ask you now, for the fans listening at home, your top try scorer for the tournament. It does come from one of these sides. Talk to me about who you think it is, unless you've changed your mind and you throw me under the bus. But obviously, when you told me it did come from one of these sides, talk to me about who it is and talk to me about who you think and why. I guess why do you think this player will take it home?
I'm actually going to have to bring up who I picked because I've actually told
He's
you.
on
No. It's I haven't had to go up that far. So obviously, I have Australia winning the whole comp, non-biased in there. My top try scorer is on screen for New Zealand and Joey Manu. I think whether he plays at 6, whether he plays at 4, or even if he plays fullback, I think he's just going to be a bloke to be reckoned with. He's going to run rings around players like they've never seen before. He's just one of those players. I don't know. It's just sort of he puts on the New Zealand jersey, and it's sort of you've unlocked the next ultimate pack. Talking FIFA related stuff, so he just turns into another weapon, and I think he's unstoppable when he puts on the white and black for Kiwis.
Well, let's just hope he's stoppable if they make the final against Australia. He's at least stoppable once so we do
No,
take
no, no,
out this
no,
title.
no. Australia, the only way we can play New Zealand if we both top our pools is in the semi-final. So neither of
Well,
us can make the final.
let's hope they choke before then. And let's hope that, you know what, if Australia has to somehow finish second or New Zealand has to finish second to avoid each other, mate, I'm all for it because I do not want to play this team before a potential grand final. But obviously, like you said, biased aside, I do think Australia takes out the tournament as well. Maybe a little bit biased, but they're probably one of the most inexperienced teams. But for quality wise, I think they absolutely storm all over the park. But for me, it's obviously New Zealand, the close second for favourite. The rest kind of filter in. There's a few smokies. Obviously, we've spoken about one of them already being Samoa. But moving into Group D, we'll talk about the second smoky. We've got the group of Tonga, the Cook Islands, Papua New Guinea, and Wales. That Tonga squad, that could be a smoky to cause dramas at this tournament. Now, we know the winner of this plays the runner-up of Group A, which again is Samoa or England. The runner-up against this, in our opinion, will play the other one of those teams. So what stands out for you in this group? Who do you think wins? Who do you think gets out? And how far can these two teams go?
I've gone really thrown it out there. I'm going PNG to top the group, and I've got Tonga to come third with Wales to come second. I just think Tonga played so well in the last World Cup, and we could see it, but I just don't think it all comes together again for them come this World Cup. I think it just they don't. I don't know. They just don't play like they could back when when we seen back in Tonga with the red mountain with the red flags waving. I don't think they come out like that again. So that's where I'm going. PNG 1, Wales 2, and Cook Islands to make 4th.
That's a very, very out there move. Obviously, I think there's a lot of people that might agree with you, might be a few people that don't agree with you, but that's obviously what we're here to do. We are here to obviously share our opinions. Baxter, what we're going to do now, obviously, to kind of not finish off the stream because we will talk about a bit of NRL news that you did obviously play over TikTok when we did enter this, but we will jump into obviously the first few games. As you can see there, it's on the screen. The first game is England versus Samoa. How do you see this one going, and who do you see getting the result?
Well, I'm going the favourites. Excuse me. I'm going the favourite Samoa. I think they've just got this squad that's just mostly Penrith players, mostly players who have played together for a while. They can do it. So I'm going Samoa over England.
Well, you've just confused the shit out of me because you had England topping your group. So now I'm not too sure where Samoa's going to drop games.
I still think you can top the group if you lose one game. It's just all
you
points.
can, but do you see Samoa losing to those other two teams in their group? Because obviously they'd have to make up that difference, England.
Maybe if they think they've got if they come into game 3 and they go, we can afford to lose this game and still finish 1 or 2, they might throw out all their players who haven't played a game, rest some of their key players, and they might on points come second. So you can still lose one game and still top the group. So don't count out England here because of one loss. I think England being at home too is just another weight on the shoulders of those players. So the tune up at Newcastle is going to be singing loudly and proudly for this team.
Well, I'm going to go much of the same. I'm going to go Samoa. I'm going to go 1-6 in a very tight contest. Not because I think personally looking at the two squads, it's going to be close, but given that home crowd, given what the players are there for, they're going to run out. It's going to be a majority English crowd. They're going to be cheering them on. They're going to be booing Samoa every time they touch the ball. I think that home ground advantage at some point of this tournament is going to go in England's favour. And this could be a game that could stay a lot closer because of that. But moving into our boys, I'm throwing a 20 plus out there start. See, if you are new here, I love throwing out that 20 plus. I know it's 1 to 12, 13 plus, but I love love throwing out that 20 plus. So Australia 20 plus. My reasoning, you've got some players there, most importantly, Daly Cherry Evans, who's trying to keep that jersey away from Nathan Cleary. So this is his chance with Cleary being rested. I think he takes it by the scruff of the neck. They put on a bit of a score against Fiji, and they definitely show themselves and the rest of the countries why they are the favourites. How do you see this one going? I guess score-wise, do you see Australia racking up, or is it kind of just go through the motions, get the result, and move on to game 2?
You go through the motions. It's early days. You don't want to go out there, rip, tear, bust, and then sort of lose the huff and puff come game 3 or late in the game of game 2. So I'm going 13 plus. I don't see it going over 20. And even if they do go over 20, I don't think it's going to blow out. And, it's at 5:30 on Foxtel. I'm not going to turn off after halftime. I think Fiji will put it to Australia, keep them in the fight. And it's going to be a drawn-out battle. And as I said, 13 plus for Australia.
Well, it's definitely going to be an early rise on Saturday. It's definitely an interesting time slot for, I guess, a lot of Australians who are used to watching games no earlier, than 3 p.m. on a Saturday. So it's definitely a different scene. We'll see how many people get up and watch that. Who knows? They might rest during the group stages and then wake up during the knockouts, just because we should be confident that we are going to get out. But moving on to the next game, it is Scotland taking on Italy in the other group game of Australia's group. It's so one-sided, but you know what? Being of Italian heritage, I'm going for the upset. I don't actually think it's going to happen, but I'm going for the upset. Italy 1-6. They're taking the points. What are your views on this game?
I told you Scotland's going to come second in the group, so I'm back in Scotland. This is my second nation, so come on, Scotland, do it for your boys. Again, back in Newcastle, it's going to be loud and proudly for those boys up in the blue and white.
Well, we've spoken about Scotland. It's only right. We've spoken about England. It's only right to speak about the last ones there. It is Jamaica taking on Ireland Monday morning, 3 a.m. I cannot say I'm going to get up for this game. I think it's going to be an absolute beating for Ireland taking on Jamaica. Luke Keary to be the star, to lead him around the fin. He'll get a few try assists. He might even get a try of himself. Let's throw it out there right now. I'm going to put Keary to get a try here. Baxter, you look at the odds, $1.01, $21. Can you see an upset, or is it more what the bookies think?
No, I'm I'm going to take a page out of your book. I'm going at 20 plus with Ireland. I think they're going to just run right over an ill-experienced Jamaica side. So up the Irish.
Up the Irish. Hopefully they have a bit of a luck of the Irish as they go further in this tournament, but maybe don't use it for this game, because you should be all right if you are listening to this. But moving obviously into the next game, it's one of the favourites. I believe they're the highest ranking team coming into this competition. I could be wrong there, but I believe they are. It's New Zealand. There you go. It's New Zealand taking on Lebanon. Again, $1.01 to $26 favourites. It's absolutely crazy, but obviously Mitchell Moses.
Put a fiver on Lebanon. Put a fiver on Lebanon, just for the sake of it.
You know, while you're at it, just go down to $1, put it on Lebanon, put it on Italy, chuck it in a multi, and you probably pay off a house if you own one. So it's a cracking multi, but I think more of the same here. New Zealand, roll them over. What are your thoughts on this game? And then obviously Mitchell Moses named captain of the Sadars. What were your thoughts of that?
Yeah, no, it's he's a good player. I think he's the most experienced player in that side. So, is it still Brad Fittler, the coach of the Lebanon side, or has he given that up to be the head coach? I know he was the Lebanon coach.
It's Michael Chica.
The old, Michael Checker, the old Rugby Union Australian Wallabies Cup. So, I was actually going to talk about something about Brad Fittler, but it has nothing to do with
you can talk about Brad Fittler. I'm always up for a Brad Fittler discussion.
Look, I know Brad has this he has this really love for Mitch Moses. He has a soft spot, so to say. Um, so again, it's another reason why he's captain of the Cedars for Lebanon. But New Zealand, Joey Manu, is going to score a double, if not two try assists. So put that in a multi and put Italy with a 13.5 start. I think you'll be right. So
Well, I will
go.
say, I think if you put Joey Marnie for 2 or more into 13 plus, you might get $1.05 because I think they're going to be very short odds for him to score a try, if not two in this game. But
Uh,
talking about Mitchell Moses, I think this is a massive, massive chance. Obviously, we know come November 1st, he is free to talk to other clubs. The Bulldogs are circling, the Tigers are circling, the Dolphins are circling. I'm not saying he's going to leave, but this is a way for him to say, if you want me, I'm now $1 million man. So we'll see
I'm
what
going to
happens. I
call it. I'm
don't
going to
think.
call it. I'm going to call it. Mitch Moses doesn't sign with Parramatta.
Man, I called that 3 weeks ago. I said he's a Dolphin. Come on, mate. Keep up
I'm,
with the
I'm not.
times.
I'm
You're
not going
on
to
the
say. I'm
podcast.
not. I'm not saying Dolphin. I'm not saying Dolphin, but I don't say. I don't think he re-signs with Parramatta due to the
You know
cap.
what? You're going to go that far. I'm going to go one step further. Dylan Brown follows him to the Dolphins. So both those partners will move,
Mm.
and the Eels will have to look for new halves come the 2024 season. But we're not here to talk about Mitchell Moses. He lost the grand final. He got dominated by Nathan Cleary. He's going to get dominated if they come up against each other in this World Cup. So let's move on to the next game. It's France taking on Greece. As you can see, Van, again, heavy, heavy favorites. $1.03 to $13. I'm not chucking Greece in a multi. Don't even try and convince me to do that. But how do you see this one going? 13 plus, 20 plus, more, less? What are your
Nah, no.
thoughts?
I'm saying France 1-12, but give Greece a bit of a 6.5 start, and I think he'd cover it in a little bit of a multi there. So Greece. I reckon Greece can hold them out. For how long? That'll be determined on Tuesday morning.
100% obviously Tuesday morning, 5:30. You know what? Might catch a glimpse of it when I'm getting up, having that morning coffee, getting ready for work. Again, it's going to be tough. Obviously, we're both Premier League fans. We've both got Champions League. We both have Europa League. We do watch the Champions League. It's a bit of a test if we're going to do 5 days a week, getting up at 5:30 in the morning to watch sport. But moving on to arguably one of the round one games that could go either way. Again, Tonga are heavy favourites. I don't think $1.03 to $13 is justified. Again, yes, Australia racked up a score against Papua New Guinea. We need to remember a lot of their players, or none of their players actually played. Tonga, great squad. Don't get me wrong. I still think they win 1-12, but I don't see this being a blowout. What are your thoughts on it?
Again, 1-12 Tonga. You've taken the words right out of my mouth. So yeah, again, Tonga 1-12.
Beautiful. And that takes us obviously into Thursday morning, 5:30 a.m. It is the last game of round one of the Rugby League World Cup. It is Wales taking on the Cook Islands. Cook Islands, $1.15 to your surprise packet to get out of the group. Was it? Was it Wales? It was a surprise packet?
Yeah, Wales to get second.
All right. So
It's
your
going to be
surprise
good.
packet at $5.50. Talk to me about this game. Is this one of the games that they can upset and get points from?
Yeah, being so close to Wales, I think a lot of Welsh travellers will jump um, across the border and make their way to the greater Manchester area and support these Dragons on Cook Islands. They're strong favourites. So I'm going to go Cook Islands 1-6, if not 1-4.
I'm going to go Cook Islands. I think the favourites do get the job here, and I think there's a lot of favourites now. If NRL showed us anything, there is going to be an upset somewhere in this first round.
Mm.
It is going to be tough. It could be one of those closer games like the England game. It could be a massive upset from someone paying massive odds, but just before we do sign off, I'm going to pop this back up on the screen just to kind of remind each other who we're going for. Obviously, Group A, England, France, Greece, Samoa. I have Samoa top in the group. I have England coming second. Just remind everyone about your pick.
I'm going England, Samoa, 1-2.
Beautiful. We'll move obviously into Group B. We did have obviously Australia, Fiji, Italy, Scotland. I've gone Australia to win the group, to win the whole thing. I've then gone Fiji, getting out of the groups. Go again with yours, Baxter.
Australia to win the whole thing, Australia to come first in the group, and Scotland to be the smoky second.
Well, there's a smoky second. We'll see how that one goes. Who knows? We might have a tiebreak right there between me and you. Moving into Group C, we both had New Zealand taking us out. There's your top try scorer up there on the screen. It was Ireland, Jamaica, and Lebanon. I can't actually remember who I said to come second. Can you remind me who I came second and then remind me of yours?
I said Lebanon to come second.
Okay, well, I can't remember who I said, so this could be wrong, but I'm going to go Ireland. I'm going to back my boy, my Roosters boy.
Okay.
I'm wearing the Roosters. Let's go Ireland. Let's get out of the group, Kiri. But moving into Group D, it was Tonga, Cook Islands, Papua New Guinea, and Wales. Baxter, remind me of your picks here.
It is PNG 1, Wales 2.
Well, I'm going Tonga 1, PNG 2. So there's a bit of a difference. Obviously, one of us is going to be right. I just can't see these group stage being as straightforward as everyone thinks. So who knows? There might be a few upsets. There might not be. But Baxter, before we do sign off, you did obviously have a massive talking point. Obviously, it came up on TikTok. There is a massive talking point coming out of Manly. And no, we're not talking about the coaches. So we will discuss it quickly. Tell everybody about what you heard and obviously your thoughts on that situation.
I was just basically... The club has given Des some help and stuff, but the two Tavojevic brothers, Jake and Tommy, have expressed their concern about how the club is going and heading towards. Obviously, their main concern was having that Pride jersey derail their season. They're, as I heard from Hello Sport, I don't know if I'm allowed to use this term, but they're on the foreskin of the 8, and they lose the last 7 games to miss out on 8th by like 6 points. Desi's not the problem. Desi's been there for 3 years. He's made finals appearance for 2 of those, and a scandalous season for this season. So Desi's not the problem. If they sack him or if he walks, it'll be the worst thing to ever have happened for Manly. But look, hey, did I not say that there might be some brothers from the North Shore maybe heading towards South Sydney? We just never know.
Well, I'll tell you what, if they do head to South Sydney, it means one thing. My Latrell comments going to the Dolphins probably looks a bit more in my favour. Baxter, again, it's great to have Rugby League here. It's great to have you on the podcast week in, week out.
Yeah.
Go Australia. We will be back, obviously, reviewing the games in a sense. We'll have to try and figure out how we're going to do that, given they are all over the place. It might be something that we record 2 or 3 episodes ago for 5 minutes a week. But guys, please hit like, please hit subscribe, and Baxter, until next time, mate. For all those international viewers listening that haven't watched before, if they don't like, if they don't subscribe, if they don't share our video, mate, where are we sending them?
Going for 10.
Well, there you go, guys. We've been the Gone for 10 show. Baxter, I will talk to you soon, and everyone else, peace out.
Peace out.